So a little bit about me. The quick version is, I love that program too. Thanks. The quick version is, I grew up in LA. Me and Ed are the kings in Queen City. We're going to be shooting off knowledge across this channel. We both grew up in LA. My mom and dad were both teachers in LA, so that comes with what's implied in that income bracket. I'm not saying that to complain about where I came from, but just so I often hear people make comments, oh, well, you just don't understand. Oh, no, I understand perfectly, and I'll get to it in a second, how much I understand who you are and where you're coming from. Joined the Marine Corps a little later than some, did 8 years. Thankful for my service. It was a great time. Been to almost every continent. I'm still missing South America and Australia, or not Australia, South America and Antarctica, and I'm getting South America in October, so really excited. Did 8 years in the Marine Corps, got out of that, and moved around just a little bit, hit Texas, hit Florida, ended up here in North Carolina. At that time, we were stepping into the recession. I was fortunate and got a job right as I got here, but unfortunately got laid off from that job. I got a second job, and the short version is I got laid off from the second job twice in 2 weeks. So for those that say, man, you just don't understand, no, I perfectly understand. My first rehab that I was helping a partner on, my car got repossessed from. So if anyone can do this, I promise you can do this. But let me talk about why we're coming around to this. I get a bunch of requests all the time about, Taylor, will you coach me? Taylor, will you help me? You're being successful in real estate, but I can, coach anyone in any business. And I'm going to talk about the steps to do that. But I get requests, 5 or 6 a week. Taylor, come work with me. Today I got a request on one of the groups I'm in. A young lady had presented that she was homeless, living across the country somewhere, and that she couldn't afford to pay anything. I don't charge to mentor. It's just not something I do. We partner with people and do deals. But she had a pain point. I was really attracted to help her because I can understand some difficulties. I've seen some actual poverty. And so her being homeless, she might be in that situation. I suggested 2 action steps to identify houses, and then also suggested a book. Her exact response was, I don't have time to read, and I need you to do something for me right now. I won't go into it any further. It ended with her making some racial slurs at me, saying my dad was a loser, and implying that me and my brother were inbred. So it was humorous because we're from LA, and you don't normally get called inbred from LA. But today, let's talk about how could that have gone differently? How could she have been coachable, right? Because it's really what we're asking for. So get a pen out, and we're going to talk about the 5 steps to being coachable. The first step is to have humility. And this is tough for a lot of people. A lot of people don't know when to ask for help. And a lot of us grew up with, parents that said, well, we don't pull over for directions, and we don't, I just can't go out and ask for help. And I understand that. It's Joan, you're into its connectivity. Thanks for following through, Ed, there, and just keeping the feed going. So really, your humility is about your behavior and your outlook. If you wake up every day with man, life is tough and nothing is going to get any better, you are absolutely going to be right. And the world is going to be right for you. But when you jump out of bed and say, what can I do today to change the ending of my story? And Ed talked about this last night, so I won't go back into it. But you need to be out there, and you need to have the change mindset. You'll notice a theme with me and Ed, and we're reading all the time. I'm currently reading the Cash Flow Diary by Jay Massey, and he talks about that you need to do action in the now. So you need to know that you can make a change. So that's step 1. Step 2, and I kind of jumped ahead there. Step 2 is have an action bias. When people come to me and ask, Taylor, what are you doing? How can I help? I actually give you an assignment before you even start. Before I even talk to you, I'm going to say, please go do this. And I won't give it away now because it's a really fun trick, and maybe I'll talk about it on a future podcast or a future Facebook Live. But I need you to go take action. You know, we've all seen the Karate Kid, and he went out and said, you know, hey, teach me to fight because I'm tired of getting beat up at school. And he said, great, go wax my cars, go paint my house. You know, it's a joke of wax on, wax off. But he didn't understand at the time why he was doing it. He just said, yes, I'll do it. You agreed to coach me, I'll agree to do what you asked. And so you need to be able to take action, even if you don't understand the point of the action. Next is you need to, we're having a couple people jump on. Hey, Jess, thanks for joining us. Kaliko, thanks for joining us. Man, excited to see the things that are coming in your life and the business that you're doing. Really appreciate you supporting us. I'll get back to it. You need to have a purpose. Don't be looking for how soon can I get paid. Lisa, thanks for joining us. As you're joining, hey, if you'll post where you guys are coming from, so we have that for the future cast, really appreciate it. And then also subscribe and like us, obviously. But hey, have a purpose. Don't come in and say, Taylor, how soon am I going to get paid? How soon, how much money am I going to make? That's going to come. You work hard enough at anything, it's going to be there. But when you ask those questions, you're proving the employee mindset you have. How many days off do I get? How many hours a week am I going to have to work? How much are you going to pay me an hour? This is employee mindset. When you're developing a business and going to a leader in your industry, which is the only person you should be looking for, is the absolute leader in your industry. Go with purpose. Your purpose is to learn. All of your follow-on after you're done learning is to earn. So just to recap, number 3, have a purpose, earn or learn so you can earn later. This next step is probably where I lost the young lady I was trying to help today. Chris, appreciate you joining us. If you'll just post where you're joining us from, that'd be fantastic. This is the biggest step that people have trouble with, and that's surrendering control. This young lady, I suggested it, she literally implied she didn't have any money. I suggested she went and got on a bus so she could get a ride around the city and identify properties to chase. Now, her loss of control was that I was instructing her to go do something. And her point was that she wanted me to prove my results before she got out there and got it done. And unfortunately, that's not how this game works. Michael Jordan has a quote, and it's, "My best skill is that I was coachable." He says, "I was a sponge. I was aggressive to learn." That's how you need to be when you're approaching a coach. And you might not want a coach, and that's okay. But don't waste your coach's time by not following the process. The last one is have faith. Because you've approached someone that knows what you want to do and is successful in your niche or your industry or your business or baking cakes or changing tires, I promise I'm not going to go in a tire shop and ask a guy, why are you taking the tire off? I'm going to have faith that what he's instructing me to do and how he's instructing me to do it is the right way to do it. Henry Ford says, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And that's really powerful. Just knowing that no matter what your mindset is, it's where you're going to be. So guys, hey, just go out there, find someone who's successful in your industry, and just go ask them, hey, if I could ride around with you for the day, if I can buy you lunch, if I can deliver papers for you, what can I do to add value to you? People that are successful in my industry and in any industry, they get asked 10 times a day to be coached. And so you have to remember, what are you bringing to the table? What are you going to do to earn your place? When I got started, I joked around about my car being repossessed at the first house I did. I literally was broke, unemployed, been laid off 3 times, and I went to one of my mentors and I said, please help me do something. It's that too, Joe, and it's the wax on, wax off. We hit that earlier. You might have dropped the call. But Joe's saying it's like the Karate Kid when Jackie Chan tells him to put his jacket on and off. It's the exact same thing. I went out and I said, what can I do? They said, man, show up and assemble cabinets. So I showed up to assemble cabinets. It happened that my car got repossessed while I was there, and so that was fairly embarrassing at the time. But it's something I laugh about now because it was the process. My process was that I had to show up and play all out, so I did. Hey, I'll recap it real quick so we're not going too long. We're going at 14 minutes. If everyone can just throw a like up or tell me if I missed anything. Brent, hey, I appreciate you joining us. Brent's from California. Joe's talking about the new Karate Kid. Got it. Thanks, Ed. So to recap, hey, the steps to being coachable are have humility, to take action, to understand the purpose of what you're doing. Your purpose is to learn. Surrender control, and then once you've surrendered control, have faith that it's going to work. This is not a instantaneous thing. Just like you go to college, man. You go to college to earn what you're doing and to earn for your degree. My field is no different. Your field is no different. I guarantee if we asked everyone in this podcast, what their field was and how to coach somebody, they'd all have a different opinion. With that, guys, hey, I don't want to take up too much time. We're at 15 minutes already, so I'll just cut it off here. Like us at Kings and Queens City. Look forward for more content. Carol, one of my favorite people, is joining right at the end. Carol, hey, I look forward to you catching the replay of the video. So go ahead and like Kings and Queen City, and you'll have more content coming from both me and Ed. I want to promo real quick. We are using some new software. It's called Live Leap. If you're interested in doing syndicated videos and you want to be able to put them out to different places, then you absolutely need to be doing this. To Karen King's point, keep on reading. That's really where I think I lost the individual earlier. Books I've read recently, and we're always going to promo the 10X rule. We're going to promo, what was the one I was just talking about? The Cash Flow Diaries by Jay Massey. And I've got a full list of them. Ed says, check out the podcast. I was on the podcast, which there's a link to on Kings and Queens City. I talk a lot about our business and how we do things. Marcelino, appreciate you joining us. He's in Charlotte as well. Hey, with that, we're going to end it. Thanks for coming, guys. Look forward to passing more knowledge. If there's something you want us to talk about or something you want us to get into, just let us know. Shoot us a message. With that, hey, I'm going to end it here. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you guys again later.